People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
My name is X Factor. I hope you're having a great day, and it might be time to come back to the Battlefield franchise. This is the first glimmer of hope I've had for 7-ish years. It's more important to me the process being expanded upon and explained in this video and the people involved than the game itself and the gameplay that we get little glimpses of. I'm going to explain that, but more importantly, we need to go into the past of the Battlefield franchise because we have been gaslit and lied to over and over, and I want to make sure that we as a community are not falling prey to EA's predatory ways, and most certainly getting a proper game out of this at launch, not 1 to 2 to 3 years down the road like they've done to us multiple times. When Battlefield 3 first came out, it was extremely hyped. The gameplay, the graphics, the beta, it was core, dark, and gritty. It was captivating. It was exciting. Rubble drops, destruction, absolute epic gamer moments. But the beta was plagued by countless mechanical issues, technical issues, even stability. But the game rose up over that. The game launched, it was in shambles for 6 to 7 to 8 months. It took almost a year to get the game into a playable state. The community was on edge. Most people weren't happy. The reviews were very bad, even though the gameplay itself was awesome. And what you could do in the game was awesome. Eventually, the game got to a great state, and we got some beyond epic DLCs. EA stated over and over they'd learned from their mistake, and it was time to start hyping up Battlefield 4. The beta came out, it was pretty darn buggy. The game launched, and it was absolutely broken. For 6 months, the game wasn't stable. Client would crash, servers would crash, certain maps would lag out. You were lucky if you got 60 FPS, even with the monster system. It was a hot mess. Now, of course, DICE being a Sweden-born studio, I believe there's 5-ish weeks of vacation that's required a year, which is awesome. So a lot of the devs and the community managers and the producers go on vacation. 5 weeks later, the game's an absolute shambles. The lead producer, the game and community manager gets on Twitter and states, "Hey, how's Battlefield?" It almost caused a riot. Everybody knew how Battlefield was. It was broken from every imaginable angle. I honestly thought it'd be the death of the game right then and there. But in an absolute miracle, a phoenix rose from the ashes. And thanks to multiple faces on your screen during this video, DICE LA was born. The community test environment came to fruition. This was a side spin-off project focused on improving Battlefield's netcode, from taking it to absolute garbage to making it feel like one of the best on the market, tightening up and increasing the skill gap and skill ceiling, nerfing suppression, countless other things including Easter egg hunting, and massive improvements across the game. This was also a forward-facing project. I was very fortunate enough to be involved in a lot of NDA and private meetings and trips out to multiple places around the country regarding this, but tens of thousands of people got to measure and experience what Battlefield was cooking up on a weekly and monthly basis. It was absolutely awesome and brought Battlefield to the height of quality which has never been seen since. DLCs came out, content, it was absolutely amazing. Fast forward in BF1 releases, it's the most polished, well-reviewed, well-received, and most sold Battlefield to date. That was in 2016. 8 years ago in October was the last time that we got a proper Battlefield. The content was lacking on the back end, and of course the time period wasn't for everybody, which kind of alienated some people, but they knocked what they aimed to do out of the park. Fast forward to the launch of BF5, the beta is plagued with issues. The launch isn't great, and it's got a ton of issues yet again. It's like we're back to square one with BF3 and BF5. So 2042 gets announced and everybody's excited. Andrew Wilson states, and I quote, "We're going back to a core, dark, gritty Battlefield experience. We're going to be focusing on the fanfare, the core issues, and mechanics." The beta comes out, and it is the biggest dumpster fire that I've ever played, let alone it being a Battlefield title. The most input lag I've ever seen in mouse and keyboard, countless performance issues, and because I'm a flick player, anytime I quickly turn on somebody that's 90 or 100 degrees behind me or 180 degrees behind me, guess what you would see? You're taking damage, but you would see a helmet come up from the ground slowly like a horror movie. Well, that's not going to work for a fast action arcade shooter. And there's countless other game-breaking bugs and issues. The beta came out. I was very adamant that this franchise, this game is absolutely broken. It's cooked. It's done. I was criticized by multiple major YouTubers stating it's just a beta, things will be fixed. Other content creators stated it might be the best Battlefield yet. I've never seen so much shilling in my life or lack of critical criticism when it's needed most in the Battlefield franchise. It's like people absolutely turned their head to the massive car accident which was happening in front of us. Now, I want to give a shout out. Not everybody did that. There were people that were critical during the beta and critical at the launch. But most certainly, there is a Mount Rushmore of EA and Battlefield shills who not only pushed the game in beta, they praised it, but also at launch. Nothing changed. They might have fixed a bug or two, but they created more bugs. It was an absolute dumpster fire. There was nothing core, dark, gritty. There's no destruction, lifeless, soulless maps, hero classes that simply don't make sense, AI all over the place that did not add to the fun. Absolute failure. I've been heartbroken for years waiting for a proper successor and something that is somewhat polished. And that's where I want to talk to you today. I want to remind people it is never okay to pre-order after everything EA's done with us with Battlefield previously and currently doing with Apex Legends. They've completely abandoned that game in both quality, server, netcode, and content, and they've done that before in the Battlefield franchise, having all these cash grab launches with no support for 6 months or a year, or they just let the game slowly die. But hey, they got your money. They don't care. They need to earn this. And I want to be very clear. I'm going to extend that hope because some of the people in the process involved looks like they are duplicating what was the best moment in Battlefield franchise history, which is David Sirlin's team in DICE LA and the community test environment. As long as the focus and promise is there to have proper quality control, chasing down an excellent net code, giving us features that are rich in the Battlefield franchise like destruction and rubble drops, I'm back. Do we need the beta or the launch of this game to be absolutely perfect and polished? No, there could be some goofy little bugs and quirks, but it has to perform. It has to be stable. It cannot be a dumpster fire like BF3, BF4 for 6 months to a year, or BF 2042. The bar isn't set high, but there does need to be a bar. So here's my advice to you. It looks like EA's entire approach is about gaining people's trust back by getting your hands on the product through multiple stages. A pre-alpha, maybe an alpha, a beta, and then again, maybe one more before the game launches, probably in the fall or winter of this year, because that tends to be the Battlefield cycle. I would say this: get as involved as you can and want to be. And also be mindful of the people who hard shilled you Battlefield 2042 that are just out to make a couple bucks. They don't care if you waste your time or your money supporting a game that doesn't deserve or need to be supported. This is the highest I've had my hopes in the Battlefield franchise in 8 years. They're saying the right things, and it looks like they're doing the right things. But lastly, and most importantly, they need to deliver on this because, again, the people involved, they've got the green light to do what they need to do, and that may be the saving grace. I don't know, chat. Are we back? Is it time to start creating Battlefield content? Let me know down below, because after all, we got hacked in June. Got to restart sometime, right? Take care, everybody. Have a great day.